Hello, welcome to Ray-ality TV. I'm Raymond Bakari, and today I'm joined by Santos Javier, who is running in the Providence City Council Ward 15 special election to fill the vacancy after then Council President Sabina Matos was selected to be our state's Lieutenant Governor. Mr. Javier, how are you today?
I'm doing fine. Thank you for having me, Ray.
No problem. It's a pleasure of mine to have you on the show. Just diving right into it here, what made you want to run in the City Council Ward 15 special election, and why are you the best to represent the ward?
Well, love of my community. I love the people. I live here all my life. Uh, when I work at the bank, I worked for over 15 years in finance, and I always give back to my community. I help people get their first mortgage, their first home, their first car. I build credit for them. And I love helping. Especially in this community. In the bank usually when you get a loan, sometimes there's some red tape. And I found ways to get over that so I can help my community so they can get the benefit. When I work for childhood-led action, we did weatherization at no cost to the landlord, which means that we'll have put insulation into their property so they can have a warmer winter. You know, um, Also we did lead abatement to how to childhood-led action, which means that we took the lead of some of the properties right here in Ponyville and Silver Lake, and that's why I think I'm one, you know, of the candidate that should be uh, winning, this election. I think that that's one of the major points. I love my community. I always been giving back to them, and you know, and I want to use this as a platform to help out more, to do more than what I've done. I want to do more. And I want to be a servant. And that's my goal.
And what have been some of the issues that you've heard from residents here in Ward 15, and what are some of them that you plan to highlight in this campaign?
Some of the issues that people will always mention is speed bump. They said people always racing through the streets. They have concern for their children, and I understand that. I'm a single parent. I have a child, and every time we walk on the street, I'm holding his hand. You know, so I see the concern. That people want safety. Security. You know, and it's mostly streets. Like with potholes. They want that fixed. You know, they want the sidewalk done. They want, like little things like that. But mostly it's about safety, for their children.
And I'm glad that you mentioned the streets and sidewalks, because that actually plays into my next question. Now, looking at some of the issues facing the city and the ward, the roads and sidewalks aren't in good shape or even clean in some cases. The sidewalks are cracked. You see things like mattresses left on sidewalks and etc. Are there any plans to talk with residents about this issue more in depth to see how they specifically want it addressed? And if elected, how would you plan to address it?
Oh, I talk to them all the time about it. That's the first thing that they did mention. And of course, once I get elected, I'll get right on to work. I live here all my life. I know the issues. I talk to them all the time. I see what they go through. I also drive, to bad sidewalk, and bad streets, and I see garbage and stuff, spilled mattresses. I understand those issues, and as soon as I get elected, day one, I'm ready to start working and start helping out. Because that's the risk I'm running. I want to help. I want to be of service. I know that people are claiming are trying, and there's really no one around that they can go to for that, and I want to be that person that they can call, and I'll be out there, helping out, with them, together.
And kind of focusing more on the citywide issues, another issue in the city is the push to defund the police, which has mixed reactions for a number of reasons. Just out of curiosity, where do you personally stand on if Providence should defund the police or not?
To be honest, I think Providence is actually underfunded, with the police. Okay, if they are driving armored vehicles and tanks, in a get up military gear, of course I'm up for defunding the police, because you can obviously see they have way too much money on their hands, right? But you don't see that in Providence. If anything, we need more police officers. As you know, we have a little issue with the ATVs and then the motorcycles, and people have a lot of concern for the safety, and there's always like, where the police are come, they're not doing anything. you know. So I am for to partially funding the police of Providence. They need help. Not every issue that's going on in this climate, you know, it doesn't apply everywhere. Yes, we have a share of issues, but not on the level of other states, you know, that have, you know, racism, stuff like that. You know what I mean? We do have some stuff, but Providence clubs, I think I was trained, and they done a good job, with what little they have. Because I don't know if you know, but they are they're not that many officers. They're actually trying to build, a new academy to get more recruits because they understand, and they're just, there's so much is going on with just a few of them, especially in the summer coming up now. That's when that crime rate, is the highest in the summer. Everybody's outside, and whatever, you know what I mean? But, in that, like I said, when it comes to Providence, I think if anything, they need more fun. Yes, others, we're not like others say, like I said earlier, that, they driving tanks or military gear or whatever. Then I definitely agree to defund the police, in that sense.
So what it sounds like, so based on the current situation, you'd be more in favor of giving more resources to the police department in Providence?
Yep.
And just a follow up on that, since it sounds like you're not in favor of defunding them. So if there was ever a vote in any instance, to eliminate funding from the police department, would you vote against it?
If they are going to vote against defunding the police department in Providence, I'll probably vote against it. Yeah.
Okay. And moving on to the next issue, recently there's been more of a push against things like charter schools, especially in Providence, and school choice from those on the left, especially in Providence, where a lot of Providence politicians don't seem to be in favor of the expansion of charter schools and are arguing that the state takeover of our public school system should end. Are you in favor of or opposed to things like the expansion of charter schools and school choice, and why or why not?
Um, I'm in favor of expanding anything that has to do with education, whether it's charter school, or your local public school. As a single parent, I love, I believe in it. I love education. I wish we had more. When I was growing up, we didn't have a lot of resources, you know. So my thing is, I put a lot of money to, any school because in the end, it's for the children. In the end, we're doing everything is for them. So whether it's a charter school or public school, I'll back whatever does the best for the children, which I hope both of them do the same. You know what I mean? Yeah, they both of them have, their little issues, but nothing that, that can be fixed, but my thing is about the children. I care for the children. Whatever, is going to help them learn, and strive, I'm all for it.
And public support for charter schools has gone up to probably the highest it's ever been in recent years. So that sounds like, so for the most part, you're in favor of charter schools?
Like I said, I'm in favor of both public education and charter school, which whomever does the best. You know what I mean? I believe they're both doing a great job. I believe that, also public school need more funding, and charter school, I think they're doing well. If they get more money, and like I said, if anything that helps children, and get more children into school and in activities and involved in stuff, that's what I'm up for it. Yeah, I'm down for that.
So like a case by case basis, basically.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. And
whatever that's the best for them. It's all about them.
And focusing on another portion of that question I had mentioned, do you think the state takeover should still be in place of the Providence Public Schools?
I think they should leave it as it is. I shouldn't think that they should get involved. I think that what the state should do is actually, like I said earlier, put more money. That's what they need. I remember when I went to Central High School, classical next door, they have the newest iMac computer. We in Central, we still had a computer for the 1980s. You know what I mean? And how is the kid going to learn and keep up to date with 30-year-old computer? What they need is funding. It's not takeover, it's funding. More funding, and the teacher, better pay for the teacher so they can motivate to teach more, So I believe it's all about funding.
And now shifting away from the issues for a second, the composition of the council leadership is different with now the city council president being Council President John Igliozzi and the council president pro tempore is Pedro Espinal. Are you in favor of the council members Igliozzi and Espinal being in those leadership
Yeah, I think
positions?
they'll do a great job. I know Espinal, and he's a great guy. I think they'll do great.
While looking at the current landscape of our city's leaders, the mayoral election won't have an incumbent on the ballot this time since Mayor Lorz is in his last term. He's term limited. There are a few candidates who have already thrown their hats in the race, like City Councilwoman Yerva LaFortune, Gonzalo Cuervo, Brett Smiley, who was on the show for the last episode. And that's without looking at potential other candidates who could step in, like City Councilman David Salvatore, Council President Igliozzi, who we mentioned in the last question. He's also term limited. And possibly state representatives Grace Diaz and Ray Hull might run. Out of all the current / speculated candidates who either are or could run for mayor in 2022, who would you personally support?
To be honest, I haven't really have a thought about that because I've been busy in my own campaign, so I haven't really given it a thought. Gonzalo Cuervos, I have met him before. He's a good guy. I think they all have the potential. I want to learn a little bit more. So far I'm learning more about Gonzalo Cuervo, and I would like to hear from the other candidates and see what I haven't heard much from any of them. But we'll see. We'll see. Down the line. Well, when you hear more, you know what I mean? Because right now it's too soon, and so we don't know much about many of them and what they're going to bring to the table. The policies and stuff. I would like to hear more.
And now shifting the focus to some of the things Mayor Lorza has done. One of the most notable things Mayor Lorza had done during his time as mayor in Providence was make Providence a sanctuary city. Where do you stand on Providence's status as a sanctuary city?
I think that's great. A lot of people here need help. People who come here for a better life, better future. That we all did. I'm Dominican. I'm from the Dominican Republic. And when my mom came here, we came for a better life. And I believe that everyone should have the opportunity, to come here and have a better life. I don't think we should be harassing them and calling them illegals or calling them this, calling them that. These people work. I never seen an immigrant, in the corner begging or asking for money. I see them, under the sun, doing lawn mowing, cutting grass, or some type of work. They work really hard, and I believe that they are part. They pay taxes. They pay taxes. People say they don't pay taxes. Yes, they do pay taxes. They have a TIN number. And I believe that they are part of that community. They help that the economy, grow. Without them, the economy will fall.
And our status as a sanctuary city has mixed reactions. A lot of those who criticize the decision, they show concerns, especially given how it's gone in other sanctuary cities around the country. They point to the example where in San Francisco, California, a sanctuary city, saw Kate Steinle get shot and killed by an undocumented immigrant who had been deported multiple times in the past and was being protected by that city sanctuary status. If something similar were to happen here in Providence, should the sanctuary city status be reconsidered or further actions be taken?
I don't think so, because if that happened in California, I never heard of it happen over here. I mean, we're people, we're human. We make mistakes, or we make error. I mean, we're human beings. You know what I mean? And everyone fight, whether the immigrant or citizen. I'm more afraid of a watch your premises. Walking to the store with a M16, or AR-15, than any immigrant around. If anything, they just want a job and do it, and work. Just because maybe there was one incident, doesn't mean that we can, take it on everybody. That's not how it works. You know what I mean? We all make mistakes. Just because one person did one bad thing, we can say that, oh, you know what, all the illegals or all the immigrants are here together. They're gonna, kill us or whatever, because that's not true.
And if a certain individual had committed a crime that's protected by the sanctuary city status, what do you personally think should happen if they committed a crime?
If you do commit a crime, you should not be protected by the status. That should be in there. It should be in the policy.
And shifting away from the political topics, my final question is one that I ask everyone here on the show to keep tradition, and that is, in your opinion, what do you think Rhode Island is best known for?
I think Rhode Island is best known for its diversity. We have different kind of ethnicities. People from all over. We have Dominicans, Puerto Ricans, Mexicans, Guatemalans, and Cubans. And people from all over the place. And I think that's one of what Rhode Island is a little bit known for. Besides, of course, the monumental, like Brown University and Frisbee and Waterfront, Newport, but I think that Rhode Island, besides that, of course, but those are like, places that people come to visit or see or whatever, but I think that people will, when once they come to Rhode Island, they will leave, with the impression that, wow, Rhode Island, really diverse. They have people from all the communities, from all over the place, Cambodian, Chinese, and Korean, Japanese, So I think it's, besides, the monumental places and, sites, seeing that people will come and see, they'll take away that Rhode Island is actually known for its diversity.
It certainly is, and I always like to call Rhode Island a tight, close-knitted community because it feels like one big family. It seems like everybody knows each other, and I just want to point. I want to point it out because just to prove how close of a community Rhode Island is, our Lieutenant Governor is literally like a street away from my house, and I just find it interesting. And if it's like my cousin's one of his customers worked lived near the governor when Governor Raimondo was still here, and it's just like those are examples of things that Rhode Island is best known for, like how close we are, that you wouldn't see in Texas. Like you can literally go in the grocery store and run into the mayor. It's happened before. I've literally seen Mayor Loiza in the grocery store.
Actually, the mayor and the lieutenant governor are like a block away from my house.
It's so true. It's like right over there. Like I think if you go down and then take a right from where I am, at least in the ward. Mr. Javier, thank you so much for coming on the show. It's been a pleasure of mine to have you on.
Raymond, thank you for having me. I wish you the world, and you're doing great, man. I hope I can have another interview with you again. Thank you so much, buddy.
Thanks, and you're always welcome back on the show in the future, especially as the election gets closer, and same with anybody who's been on an episode of Ray-ality TV. Thank you once again for watching this episode of Ray-ality TV. If you want to see future episodes as soon as they're posted on this channel, please click the subscribe button down below, along with the post notification bell icon to the right of it. I'm Raymond Bakari, and I'll see you on the next episode.